Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run, Booker, joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot nanny.
Hey everyone, welcome on to Trackside with Kokpit, Kittens and Books are back after a bit of a 2-week break, a well-deserved break. And for my good friend, it's good to see him back. It's time down in the South Island. Books, how are you, mate?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I'm not completely recovered. I'm getting there, though. I'm getting there. I had to finish up the final tallies today and bank some more money for the cystic fibrosis, which is freaking awesome. And we've got a couple of, we've got one, obviously, that's just one auction online that just finished, because I said it will run till the start of the show. And then we've got another one running there for Josh Prentice sent us a thing through and said, hey, I'll do a hoodie and a shirt, whatever size the people want. And so we've got that auction running now too. But just so everyone knows, that cystic fibrosis tour, Kins, has been freaking awesome. Like everybody, the support we've had throughout the South Island was outstanding, from the tracks, from everybody on the tour. And, you know, some of them bought those cutouts in the first one, and the others sort of thought, oh, I'll get one later on. But the prices just kept going up, you know. And I can't thank Trish Woolley enough for walking around the crowd each track, mate, and doing the buckets for me. And then also Mandy helped with that near the end, and also Sharon Riddick as well. Mandy Goodley and Sharon Riddick both helped, and I can't thank them enough for doing that for us kids, because someone didn't come and left me behind by myself, so I had to enlist other people, because, you know, this bloody fella just decided not to go. And
You know what? I know I'm going to hear it from one particular gentleman who's sitting there with his bloody arms crossed. He's giving me shit all night. All night. I might as well get me a t-shirt and put on the back, but do me a t-shirt on the back. I didn't go on the Rees or something like that.
Yeah, I piked.
Hey, just for those ahead of the weekend as well, we'll just get it quickly done before we got quite a bit to get through. Obviously, it's the whole coverage of the tour. We're going to bring Ammz into, but this is what Speedway looks like for this coming weekend ahead on Friday. Obviously, there's a couple of tracks racing. Then you have a look at Saturday. Oh, there's about a good 10 or more tracks, maybe a dozen tracks racing. And then, of course, on the Sunday wraps it up as well. But quite a bit to go. Most tracks up and down the countryside, I'm presuming, will be counting down the weeks before they wrap up the 24-25 season. So that's just one little thing I want to quickly share. But also the other part quickly before we get into it, it's that time of year again as well, where we kind of recognize those who have been involved with Speedway and all facets of the Speedway season. It's nomination time. The 2025 awards categories, everything is online, and you know, we invite you to nominate those who you think are worthy, and you can submit it. And they close. Oh, how Friday night of May? Damn, that's my bloody birthday. I better hurry up and get something sorted for us, mate.
Well, I mean, if someone thinks we've done a good job, they can nominate us like they did last year. But if they did, I don't know. But I was looking at the categories today when I saw that pop up, Kins, and there's an event category, and I think that Rees tour could be close to being the event of the year. To be there's an event of the year or something like that. It's about going across one track or multiple tracks, and of course, the Rees tour was taken to the South Island in every track, and I think that is probably that's probably going to. Surely it must get a look in, to be fair, because it was just a great tour, and it wasn't what some people had made comments online that they wondered why the modifieds weren't supporting their own class and promoting it instead of promoting super stocks, as these people said. And the tour wasn't about promoting a particular class. The tour, to me, was about taking these classes that were on it to tracks that never get to see it and going around. And another example is when we went to that school to do what we did, you know. It wasn't about promoting one class. The tour was all about taking, and I think Pete will clarify it for us when he comes on, and and it was also Paul's farewell. So I don't know how you say saying Paul's farewell was promoting a class, as promoting a great driver. So I mean, just take that into aspect. You know, the tour was all about taking these cars to tracks that never get them. You know, Blenheim, for example, Kins, biggest crowd they had and the most cars ever in the pits. I mean, how awesome is that? And that's not promoting one class, is it? That's promoting Speedway as a whole. And so I just wanted to clarify that too at the start to get that done. But also, people, we're going to have 2 more auctions that'll go this week, and then by Friday, that's all the auctions done. The final tally will be done for the cystic fibrosis. I believe with the 2 auctions tonight, looking at them now, we've gone over the 20k mark, which is awesome. And the other 2 auctions we've got is the James brothers have given us a couple of panels to auction, which are the new look T-Prook 87G wing panel on the sidekins, and the 89S side panel on the chassis from their Stratford teams. Okay. So we'll put those up for auction as well. And of course, if you want something that, in my opinion, is probably quite a special thing to have in your man cave, he's the guy that owns It's Pretty Humble, but in the early part of the tour, Mr. Vazey, he didn't have a lot of luck, and Asher Rees, or as Basher Rees is what Paul calls him now, drove over the top of Paul's car and wrecked his front wing. So that front wing will be signed by Paul, and it's the one that Asher ripped off his car at the start of a tour, and we're going to auction that off as well. So that and those other bits will go up tomorrow morning, and they'll finish on Friday, and then that'll be our final push for cystic fibrosis. And another thing, Kins, is what's awesome is the cystic fibrosis people have been following the tour because they knew that we were doing that fundraiser for them on the tour. I've got a picture of my brand new camper that I've bought. My cystic fibrosis camper I bought. Nah. But yeah, so yeah, those other two, and that'll be our final push for the end of the tour. So I'd just like to thank everybody that helped, and Pete, mate, the cutouts, the amount of cutouts, and he ordered more cutouts, and just I can't thank him enough. I mean, that's something he's donated that we could auction off for that tour. And then people, and Sharon Riddick did a ladies pack which went for a couple of $100, and there was, you know, Alex Hills that donated stuff, and the Hill family, they bought heaps of stuff on the tour anyway, you know. And I just can't think of enough for supporting this charity. I've got a message from Josh today, Josh Prentice, to offer us those tops that we put up, because he's the reason we started this in the first place for the cystic fibrosis, because his child suffers from it. But there's so many people in the Speedway family, Kins, that have got something to do with it there. And I think that's what made it that little bit more special for me doing that on the tour, knowing that we're helping out more and more of our Speedway family, but also the wider family, which is the whole of New Zealand that have problems with it, you know. So yeah, that's I'll finish on that. But yeah, I just can't thank everyone enough for supporting it, mate, for us. And you know, it probably would have gone a little bit better if someone else had been there, but you know, we can't help that.
Shitty we I'll talk about the special moments of the tour from what I reflect on, from what I saw over the social media, and I'll touch on that a bit later on, because I know there's a gentleman there emotionally coupled, and that's going to give me a bit of shit later on. But we'll get into it, because we do have a big build up, obviously, around the wrap up of what has happened over the last few weeks.
No.
What's
sorry.
wrong?
I just remembered something. That shirt we did for the Super Stocks that everyone signed in New Zealand Super Stocks was supposed to be auctioned for this.
Yeah, it's over here, sitting next to me.
Someone just asked if we'd done that. No, sorry, we haven't. No. Not yet.
We'll put it up. Put that up. Put it up. I'll send the picture through.
Yeah. I'll let you go. Sorry, kids. So I just read the comments, and I thought, oh shit, I'd forgotten all about that.
Yeah. Oh, good. Got anything else you got there?
No, mate.
Shall I bring Ammz in? You're happy?
Yeah, bring Ammz in. Bring in the man himself.
What's he doing? Who's he talking to?
they just tried to chime me on now, but I will go on shortly. So
You're on now.
He doesn't realise he hasn't got his headset on. Get off the phone. Ammz, get off the phone, bro.
I've been dragging the chain, boys. My apologies. But hey, I need to ask something here. Do we even know who we are? Do I even know you two?
Well, hold on.
It has been that long, man. It has been that long. It feels like it's been forever since we've been last been on the show here, team. But hey, equally pleased to be back on the show. I mean, I need to acknowledge Books and Pete and Vazey for their efforts in putting together the Rees South Island tour over the last couple of weeks, man. It's been absolutely massive, and the drive behind it all and getting it across the line. I mean, man, it would have been awesome for these smaller tracks and clubs down here in the South Island to be able to take in the stock car racing, the super stock racing, which they've absolutely been starved of. You know, the North Islanders don't realise how lucky they have it, man. They really don't. So, big ups to Riverside, Cromwell, Dunedin. They are starved of super stock action, man. And I hope the fans down those ways enjoyed seeing the likes of Pete and Asher. You know, the caliber of the cars, the machinery, and also the drivers on hand was absolutely spectacular. I must acknowledge the modified guys as well, especially Brad Lane. I mean, you could have 20, 10, 5, or even just Brad out there by himself. He is just an absolute showstopper, man. So just big ups to everyone that's been behind the Rees South Island tour. Very unfortunate I wasn't able to do most of the tour myself. Was happy or am pleased to say that I started it, missed the midsection of it, but hey, was able to finish with it here at Coconwood for Glen Speedway on the weekend gone. Absolutely phenomenal. Boys, as I said, man, it's been far too long. What's been happening?
Well, this guy next to me, I think it's either Blake or Sparky from memory.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not sure.
How did I say?
Someone asked me was Blake and Sparky in the pits down in the south. Anyway, it's Books. Hey, Jace, it's good to see you, Jace, from the pits. How are you?
Okay, get into your bloody points, you guys.
I know I'm on standby. We're going to blow up your bloody internet, Jace. No,
I
just
don't know. I don't know what. I'm not sure what points you're talking about. Are you talking about some talking points or? No, just joking.
Give us your points, bro, to the Speedway of Excellence. Go on, let's get into it. Where are we going to start?
We will. Did the images come through?
Yeah, bro. You tell me where we want to start.
We'll kick off as always, team, with the sprint cars. That is the Alan Wakeling medalist for Sprint Car Racing Excellence team. I must say, I must apologise. I had been dragging the chain over the last couple of weeks of these, just been so flat out with Mahi and also being part of Jason, the team at the Pits Media with the Rees tour there. But hey, found the last couple of days with Mahi on the go slow at the moment. I was able to catch up on all things Only Ammz Speedway Awards of Excellence. And as always, we kick off with the sprint cars with the Alan Wakeling medalist for Sprint Car Racing Excellence. Top of the chain there for the meantime, the 3NZ, Joel Myers Jr., still your current leader there. He's slowly starting to run away with it, but you wouldn't think that, having seen what happened at the earliest part of the season. It was Jonathan Allard in the driver's seat right now, Joel Myers Jr. Special mention to Max Guilford as well, he's had a heck of a season there as part of the 46C sprint car team down here in the South Island, which he has been doing most of his racing here this season. Absolute cracker of a feature race there at Kihiki for the New Zealand Sprint Car Championship, where I think he had been leading most of that, and then he'd spun out for a couple of laps from the end, and then obviously at that time Daniel Thomas had inherited the lead, but just the way that Max has been going, man, he caught him and then passed him on the last corner to win. I mean, you can't ask for more. That's a Speedway New Zealand Championship right there for you, Kins and Books, eh?
Oh, mate, just yeah.
Unreal, eh?
Hey, incredible. They just turn it on like you wouldn't believe, eh?
Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable, you know. And I must acknowledge the McDonald's Kihiki Speedway as well in running that event. You know, that's probably the first time they've held that championship there, and man, they put on a heck of a show. The crowd, the bums on seats there will otherwise tell you that the racing was absolutely spectacular. But yeah, I did have my man Daniel Thomas there in the box seat to take it out. It just unfortunately at the final hurdle he had stumbled there. But hey, take nothing away from Max Guilford, your new New Zealand Sprint Car Championship, lying in third place for the Alan Wakeling medalist for Sprint Car Racing Excellence. Moving on now to...
He's been on form too, just jumping in there, Max, and he showed it, obviously. It was Joel that had that little slip up out there. But I just got to go back. I actually, since the sprint cars and its open wheels, I understand there's more people at the dairy than at the actual racing.
Well, without a
believe
doubt.
it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, I was there over the weekend gone, just getting some milk and bread, but it took me a while to get it because I had to wait in line. There was 12,000 people there at the dairy. Could you believe it? So, but hey, I just can't believe that, man. You know, people go to the dairy more than the Speedway. That doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, moving on to a better topic, and that is now we move on to the Tony Cardwell medalist for Super Saloon Racing Excellence. This category obviously has been a little bit quiet over the last couple of weeks. They have ran the Taranaki and Waipa championships over the last couple of weeks there, but when Kins does bring the image up on the screen there, we do have a tie. Yes, we do. We have a tie at the top of the point sheets. Whānau, Craig Cardwell, Chris Cowling there, both on 116 points apiece. Sam Waddell there on third on a couple of points back on 112. Sam Waddell actually was here at the Battle of Stocks event here at Cokewood Woodford Glen Speedway a couple of weeks back, campaigning the 1NZ Super Saloon of Mark Osborne, I might add. And he was able to pick up some valuable points there to still stay in the points up. But yeah, doesn't get any tighter than that team. 116 points apiece between Craig Cardwell and Chris Cowling there. That is. One other driver I'd like to make mention of as well is Mitch Vickery. He's also made a push for vying for points as well. But I just need to make a small mention of this because this class right here has just been an absolute a happy hunting haven for super stock drivers over the last couple of weeks, last couple of seasons. Team, I mean, look at the names on the list right there: Mitch Vickery, Jason Long, and not too far down the points charts is Peter Bingston, Damien Orr. So, you know, these guys are coming from a full contact class, man, and they're making big moves with these guys that are, you know, banging wheels with these guys in the super swing class. So it's a full credit to the, you know, with the added horsepower that these guys have on top as well to deal with. It's just absolutely incredible that, you know, you got these stock car drivers that are willing to take that challenge and step into another class with the added horsepower, you know, and then still be able to be competitive. So, you know, take my hat off to these guys here. Mark Osborne was another one as well. He was probably one of the first of a couple that, you know, going back several years that had made the switch over from the stock car class. But team, yeah, plenty to get excited about there for the Tony Cardwell medalist.
Hey, next season, though, next season, Ammz, next season, I understand there'll be another super stock driver in there, and he's going to join us tonight. I think Paul Vazey. We'll see what happens. We'll ask him about that later on.
I think Peter Rees is probably going to jump in as well. So
right.
We'll start the rumors off now. Start the rumors off.
Yeah, oh, you never know. We might start seeing 8-1 mufflers in the super sling classes. As long as the flames coming out as Hangi Stone's hot and we're able to cook our marshmallows, then that's the main thing. But yeah, we're moving on now to the Peter Rees medalist for Stock Car Racing Excellence. And when Kins does bring that up on the screen, Mitchell Lockett will still find himself as the current leader there on 154. Sam Wright has been getting some good results back up in the North Island as well at Bay Park and also at Waikaraka Park here to stay in the points hunt. Troy Cleveland and Jack Rarity doing it for the South Islanders there to stay in the points hunt as well. My driver over the last couple of weeks, team, has to be the 513 of Callum Flavel. He's just, I mean, Books, you would have seen it, man. Every track they'd gone stopped in at the South Island. It was very rare you'd see Callum Flavel finish either with a checkered flag in hand or top three or just out top five, you know. So I think for me, he was my stock car driver, my pick of the stock car drivers from that whole tour, you know. And good on him. Yeah, it's well, he still be able to come down here and be competitive with these guys as well. It's the big showing. So
Well, he took out the overall for the Rees Tour. Did Callum Flavel? So he was first overall, followed by Blair Rees Smith, followed by I can't remember. That's terrible. That's my old man memory. Maybe Pete or Paul will remember. They were up the front there with me when I said it. But Callum, Blair Rees Smith, and oh no. Useless. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you've butchered it now. You've butchered it. But
while he looks at that, while he looks at Ammz, we'll move on to the next one, eh?
Yeah, no, that's right. We'll move on now to the
Troy Cleveland
medalist. Troy Cleveland. Yep.
That was third.
Yeah, well, we had just mentioned him there in that last point as well. But moving on to the Roger Bertram modified medalist for. Well, the point show up right there. Team Brad Lane has just been. I think he could probably happily hang up the helmet for the rest of the season, team, because that is a massive point score right there. Put that down mainly to the South Island tour. But once again, as like I said earlier in the telecast, it didn't matter if he had a field of 20 or 10, 5, or just Brad by himself. He would put on a show, and Books, you'd seen that over the whole Rees tour there, so it's unbelievable. And then being able to finish off strong at Coke and Woodford Glen Speedway on the weekend. Possibly my pick actually from the weekend gone was the young man out of the Taranaki region there, Brafe Kalen. Wow, just absolutely stunning there in the borrowed modified, I might add. Usually campaigns a 9S, but was with the 23 Greymouth car there. But man, he is just absolutely spectacular, almost out of control sometimes. But I think one of the first races they had ran over the weekend, and it's very rare you see people go right around the outside of Brad Lane. But man, take nothing away from Brave Kalen. He done exactly that, man. He put it all on the line, and I think with the relegation from a couple of those races, he ended up taking the overall honours. But man, take a bow, Brave Kalen. But otherwise, take nothing away from Brad Lane, man. It's going to be pretty hard to catch him from there with 240 points. But still a couple of weeks, handful of weeks to go yet. So anything might happen. But that's the outlook there for the Roger Bertram modified medalist for. Brought to you by Pocono Auto Centre. And then we'll quickly finish off with the Shane Penn Medalist Award for Superstock Racing Excellent. And look who's entered the chat team. Right at the top, right there, the 126G of Asheries. Fun fact, Fano, I must let you know, before I'd finished this points tally, I'll tally everything up, he was 30th overall. No, and then understandably so, put this down to the Rees Tour, where he had got majority of these points. Post the weekend just gone, he had gone right to the top of the charts, team 126G of Asheries, 116 points there, ahead of Shane Harwood, 102, and then obviously your early leaders there, Todd Hemingway on 99, and Quinn Ryan there, who had a good weekend at Bay Park, I might add. Still staying in the points hunt there. The car is for sale, sadly, as we speak, but hopefully we might see a return for the Hawke's Bay Flyer right there, team. But other than that, that's how the outlook looks for the Shane Penn Medalist Award for Superstock Racing Excellence, and also the Only Ammz Speedway Awards of Excellence, team. That's me for another week. I've lost count of how many weeks of this we've been doing it now, but I know we're getting to the business end. I have made a conscious decision from next week. I will be not cutting the points. It's just the points will become secret. This is how they do it in the NRL as well. And if you had been following me for most of this journey, the NRL, how they usually do it, go through 2/3 of the playing season, and then the last third, they make the points secret. And because I'm following the blueprint of that, I will adopt that same manner as well. From next week, team, the points will become secret. I'm not too sure. Kins and Books will have to find someone else to fill in for me on the show. But the team, it's been an absolute pleasure. For the super stock and the stock car guys, I'll look at cutting it down to the top maybe 50 drivers from each. It just it'll save me a heap of mountain work. It's no use scoring points for guys who are down past 100 or so on. That's not worth it, because you're not going to be showing for the points at the end of the chase anyway. So that's kind of where we're at, team. From next week onwards will be the last, my last showing on here for the show, and then from there the points will become secret for the rest of the season, and then with a bit more mahi behind the scenes alongside books, we're looking at doing a awards gala at some stage over the off season, and we will let everybody know what's going to happen with that in the meantime. But for now, yeah, they could take a chance to refamiliar ourselves with the points for the meantime, and from there it's up to you guys whether you want to count up the points by yourself. I will be, but I won't be telling anyone. So yeah, from next week, team, it's D-Day, so you guys have to start guessing your own points or tallying them up yourselves. But yeah, thanks, boys. Pleasure to be on the show again. It's been some time. It felt like it's been forever since we last been together, but equally pleased to be back on the show, team. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
All right. Cheers, Ammz. Lovely.
Thanks, Ammz, brother.
Thank you again. And
right,
yeah,
boys.
it's been good to catch you. No doubt we'll talk again real soon. But like Ammz said, he'll keep it on the down low. Just put it together. He'll keep it pretty private. But there is something in the pipeline we will get to celebrate and be part of the Speedway of Excellence as well. Just keep an eye on our Facebook page for all of those details, everything rolling out there. Just clicking back to the modified category. And obviously we saw Brad Lane leading by heats. Pretty foregone conclusion, but also included in that was one guy that's given over 40 years to the sport, Jamie Foxx, and how outstanding that was last weekend up there in Auckland. Jacko won, obviously, the modified side of things. Good to see Jacko back on the podium there, but overall, it's no different to the Rees tour that went down in the south. It was about celebrating and giving back to a man and all of his crew and his sponsors and his family that's given 40 years of their lives to a guy that's given so much to the class of modified. So just going back to recollect and reflect on one Jamie Foxx, Ian Wilson, Trent James, Beck Spraybrook, Aaron Ferguson, we're all good. Kerry Gates, Mark Goodman, Wayne Alton, who enjoyed the tour. Barry Hunter, also down there on tour. Mike Harvey, good to catch up with you at the Repco Turf Wars. Mike, Dwayne Martin, Tracy Vincent. What else we got here? Jason Coley. Oh, Mr. Darren Brian Lapwood. He enjoyed catching up with you. Books, Muddy Goodley, who was also on the tour. Tane Ballantyne, Ron Bloomfield, Jackie Miller, Nana Gale, how are you? Daniel Chalk, Kerry Gates. We'll try and get some reply to you, Kira, around the Rees t-shirts. Josh Barton, Cody. Yeah, we'll see you on Saturday, Tracy. Devon Stone. So, yeah, good to have a few on there. Folks, what I got to say in these comments, there's been a lot of people saying, great to catch up with you, meet you in person, and glad to see that you made it home all in one piece. Shall we bring in the two gentlemen?
Oh, then we should bring these two bloody quiet legends in. Look at that. Paul's got his wheelchair in the background there, but he got awarded, so that's good.
As Pete's got his little bloody red band shoes. Where's your shoes, Pete?
Oh, they're on the shelf. I haven't built yet.
Yeah. Ready to kick my ass because I wasn't on the tour.
I was going to say that. Who the hell are you?
He's put his boots in his gear bag for the weekend.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we should explain that. So those that don't know, at Christchurch they did a bit of a award. They had their presentation for the night, and then they stopped. They did something for Pete and Paul, and Pete got a set of shoes, gumboot shoes that looked like red bands with big white laces on them. They were pretty cool, so he wore them for the night. And Paul got that wheelchair in the back with the 357 wing on it behind him since he was retiring. So it was, I knew all about it happening before it was happening, but I didn't tell these fellas it was going to happen. But yeah, very cool for the club to do that for the final leg, I suppose, the final meeting for the tour. So it was pretty good, wasn't it, guys?
Oh, real good.
I think it was very fitting, wasn't it?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
All the clubs did something special, and then Christchurch just topped it off with what they did.
I think you two, and actually even you, Books, and there's others that did all that work behind the scenes before, obviously, the tour got prepared, because there is a lot that goes on, Pete? Because I remember talking to you a little while back, everyone had been excited to look forward to the tour. Obviously, it's got to work alongside with SNZ and doesn't muck around with any dates and all that type of thing. It's been a long time coming. The excitement around this, from memory when we spoke up in launched that this tour was going to happen, people were just hanging out for it. So I'm guessing you're pretty bloody pleased overall, and I'm guessing you're glad you got it done last week, the last few weeks actually, because the weather looks like shit this week down there.
Yeah, we dodged a bullet with the weather. But Greymouth had a small rain off, but
Yeah.
we had a rain date for that. Could have been midweek. But you say it took a lot to organise, but to be fair, I didn't do a lot of it. I didn't do Bayrall. It's just my name, and that fellow there did heaps, and Brendan Lemoff did a heaps, and then on the trip itself, everyone just worked together and made it happen.
It was special for you too, Paul. You know, obviously there's a bit of history that goes back, and Pete jumped into the sport in one of your cars, but to be part of this tour and to say farewell, it was a great memory for you, Paul.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't have a better send-off, to be honest with you. I'm just humbled that it was me that they invited to go along, mate. Like, you look around the sport, how many great names there are around, you know, and for myself and my family, it was just true honour just to be a part of the whole tour itself. And, you know, because of that, I tried to pitch in as much as I could to try and make it a good event for everyone. And holy hell, mate, I was that busy after those first couple of meetings of old Basher. He was bashing me around like he got no idea. I was doing side rails and cow cookies paddocks and all sorts, mate. Like, no one's got any idea how busy we were. And he's just sitting there talking to everyone. It was like, but that's what made it, you know, that's what made it. And the kids got to see all that, you know, and then they got to see how much work was actually involved. Everyone around us got to see how much work was involved. And I don't think they sort of, they had sort of an idea, but like I'm talking about the campers and that were following us. But when they actually seen how much work we were doing and outside of the, you know, not on the race night itself, so they were blown away, guys. Like they just couldn't believe how we'd do that. Load up, no time to do anything. Get to the track, pull them all out again, start doing setups, running around like idiots, trying to get ready, and then obviously racing like idiots, some of us. But yeah, it was a good show, mate. Like you couldn't ask for anything better.
Some of us tried to take the door off our bus at the back too, didn't we?
Oh yeah, there was some idiot that bloody did that, yeah, and felt so stink about it, mate. Yeah, and I'm giving out the awards to the idiots, and I think I was the biggest one on the day. Yeah, too much of a rush.
Yeah. If I just reflect quickly going through some of these comments that were live, you know, everyone's just talking about it's a great tour. Everyone loved it every day. Craig Winter, you know, the great work. Brett, yeah. Paul Owens, how you, mate? Brad Wright, happy birthday to you, Brad. But just the feedback from the comments, mate, Pete, you got to be pretty stoked. You know, everyone was bloody happy. Obviously, there's the odd bloody individual out there, and got to deal with that shit in some other way. But overall, on the bigger picture, most would have been happy, eh, Pete?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the second one that we've done, and you know, the first one was 4 tracks. This one was 7 tracks, and 2 of those tracks had double nighters, so it's 9 race meetings in 16 days. So anything could have happened, could have gone good, could have gone bad, but you know, like I said, we dodged the weather. We met heaps of people. Like I had a bit of everything that tour. You know, we had drama, we had people with damage, and lots of cars with damage. Actually, there's motors blowing up, but everyone just got together and made it all work in the end. And you know, we ended up meeting. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it the Tahunas?
Yeah.
Their family.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome
the
family.
Tahuna family that fed us at 3 or 4 of the tracks, and then they fed us at the rugby club rooms. You know, took us to that school. And to be honest, it would have been quite easy to say no to that school because it was raining. It was raining quite heavy actually all that day. But glad we went, and you know, we probably made an impression. There's 100 kids there that they asked some wicked questions, like those kids were 5, 6, and 7, and they were asking questions like 13, 14, 15-year-olds. It was awesome. So yeah, like I say, had a bit of everything in it. All of the tracks got it perfect. You know, you couldn't really complain about the tracks. Someone said the Invercargill track was the best track they've had all season, and we happened to get it. All our tracks, we wouldn't complain about the tracks. They all fed us. we all drunk like idiots, and that's what you do when you're on holiday, I suppose. We actually drunk like proper idiots. I'm drying out for a couple of weeks after that. Well, they're saying that I've got a beer right there, so. But, no, it was cool. You wouldn't change it if you had a chance. You know, we could tweak it to make things flow a bit better, but it was outstandingly cool.
It took us kids to the end of the tour to figure out how to get the cutouts signed properly.
Oh yeah, the
last track we figured it out.
So what did you do to figure it out? What did you actually do?
Well, we were saying to people I was talking to the drivers' briefings and stuff, and saying, when you finish, go see Pete's trailer and sign the 3 cutouts that we did signed. And then after a few tracks, we took it to the club rooms to be signed for straight after drivers' briefing.
Yeah.
But then at the last one, they were taken up to the club rooms where, when they had to go check their helmets in and all their gear in, they could sign it then. So it was done easier for them. And that's what we probably should have done from the start.
Yeah, we had 3 each track, except for the last track we had about 7 to do.
Yeah.
And right, each track got one, then the charity got the other 2, and then the last one we dished them out, so everyone needs to sign them, and it wasn't until then we worked it out. We got the officials at the track to make sure they signed it before they got their helmets checked. It worked out way better.
Yeah.
When you take a look at it, though, you know, overall, and what you had the classic stock cars doing some. Obviously, they had to wrap up before Christchurch and head back. You had the mini stock kids, and I got to give credit to the mini stock 99A Facebook page. That young girl and their family, they put together the day by day tour in like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. That was just outstanding by that family, especially the young girl. You had the mini stocks, you had your stock cars, you had a handful of modified super stocks. Like Am said, you know, to get the opportunity to have all of those kind of cars down at these tracks in the South Island. If I get your feedback on this, Paul, that must have been pretty special, you know, not just to have you guys in your super stock being part of your farewell, but to have other classes down there, especially that aren't exposed down in some of these South Island tracks.
Yeah, well, everyone's going on about my farewell, mate, but really, I think for myself, it's more of the upcoming of my boy, you know, like a young fella coming through. He had a great time, and with young Carlos racing his car and all the rest of it, and like you say, with their Facebook thing, if you haven't seen it, look it up and have a look. You know, you'll see exactly how much fun the kids had. It was just amazing. Like just to see the smile on everyone's face while you were down there. There was no one grumpy. They were all up. Those kids and those families involved in those mini stocks. I think we were the only family that were up at Sparrow Fart and cruising off to the next track. They were gone before we even woke up. They were just that excited about the deal. And my boy was unfortunately tainted with us in the super stocks because we were the last ones to leave wherever we were because we were sleeping in. But
why were you sleeping in though, Paul? What happened the night before that you had to sleep so much?
It might have been you buggers keeping me up with the beers. Yeah, no, it was just such a great time, and it's memories for life. That's what it is. Exactly. That's how you plan it. So, and my family was very fortunate to be a big part of it, and all my boys are going to remember that for life, even when I'm not here, you know. So it's, thank you very much to Pete and his family and Books for doing what he did, because shit, without those guys and those families that contributed, what an awesome time. And I the best advice I can give you, if there's ever another one, Pete puts another one on, go on it, because there's nothing like it.
Yeah. And that's the thing you said about other families too, Paul. It's like, you know, if we thought we weren't going to eat much on the tour, we were highly mistaken. I mean, you had Sharon Riddick, the Riddick family, helping out doing breakfasts or lunches, and Pete and Asher and Nath, and then Mandy doing baking and cooking, and everybody just everyone pitched in, and no one went without, you know. We had some families get mistaken for homeless. You know, I should tell the story live on here, shouldn't I? Mandy will kill me. And getting an award for it, yeah, because because the other thing, like, and I forgot to mention too, before Maru Goodley, their family, like Mandy was doing washing for everybody and stuff. Everybody just pitched Dinkins, and that was what made the tour, I think, a little bit better as well. And I think Pete was talking the other day and said, these people now that you got to know that you're always going to have time for now, where before it was like you spoke to some people and yeah, that's cool, and they were good people, but now they are great people, so to speak, and that's made a big difference too for all of us. I mean, it's just
we had guys like young Mitchell Lockett, like you see him, he's top of that bloody chart for the stock cars, and he's running around with old Smoky Joe, the engine that was taking a litre and a half of oil every race. No one knew that. We were pouring it into it, and it was getting more and more and more. And then at one of the tracks, without word of a lie, we bought an engine. Well, Sean Smith managed to sort out an engine for him for $200, and then we spent that whole night and the next day changing the engine over and put a standard engine in it, and went out and won. Who was winning the next race, So all that sort of stuff was going on in the background, and it was only the campers and the people on the tour that could see it, not the people in the crowd, So they could appreciate exactly how much work was going on behind the scenes. Asher was running around helping God knows how many people. I know that because he kept coming over and borrowing shit out of my bus. So and I couldn't go and help so many because I had enough work to do myself, and old Pete just sitting back with his feet up. No, it was bloody awesome, mate. Yeah.
And to top it off, I suppose, how special was it for you, Paul? It was your farewell tour, but on that, your son took first overall in the mini stocks.
Oh, very humbling, mate. Yeah, Carl, like you guys know because you've met him, he's very, very quiet and reserved. And for us as a family, one of the highlights of that whole tour was the fact that Books, you got him to say a few words with the microphone. Like, he's been up at quite a few events and done a bit of a mic drop and walked off because he's a bit shy. But he actually said probably 2 sentences in a row. He's definitely not like his father. He's more like his mother, whereas he's quiet as. And I just about dropped my beer when he said something. So that was pretty cool.
It's those special things, Pete, that makes it worth it. Like Paul has mentioned, it brings in, I would guess, and me and Books talk about it all the time, the positive side of the Speedway family side of it. Like Paul said, all the work that goes on behind the scenes as campers, they get to see it. Normal Joe Blogs doesn't bloody get to see that, but that's what makes that tour special.
Yeah, well, I saw it myself as well, because quite often you get tied up in your own little circle and your own little racing, but we had time to relax and look back and see all what you just said. The campers got involved. We met some awesome campers. Like they're actually crazy for following us around. And it's kind of hard to explain how I know what you mean, but it's just out the gate. Everyone got involved. Like, there was campers helping us wash our cars in there. I don't wash my car on a good day, but my car got washed every meeting. And they absolutely loved it because they got involved, and they could camp at most places in the pits with us on the end of the tour, and they come in the club rooms and they ate the food that the club supplied for us, and it was out the gate, absolutely out the gate.
I think that was the special thing, Pete, how they could mingle with all the drivers, the race cars, the trailers, the families, and everyone got to meet each other. It was just like one huge family on wheels. That's all it was. It was great.
Oh, it'll also give them an appreciation of what Hughes and everyone else does, And I remember Booker going live one of his updates during the morning, and I think there was a lady carrying one of the panels from a car walking past going to wash it, like you were saying, Pete. Everyone jumped in, got their hands dirty, just wanted to make sure that he's got on track to entertain the fans down in the south. It's like one big bloody family. It's cool.
CJ Chestnut's kids come over they did a deal with Asher. I think the young lady did one, and he wasn't there, so they ended up taking my panels away and washing my car, and then when he come back, they did his as well, and they got rewarded a couple of little cutouts for it. And awesome family, that Chestnut family.
Yeah. And she loved being on the front of the car.
Yeah, well, we had the
we
we
did
had that
parades
kid
with
thing, didn't we?
different kids, and it was out the gate. We did stuff that we wouldn't never do normally ever.
So we had
What you
a
said.
kids' night at one of the places, didn't we? Books.
Yeah.
And
We
we
did.
we made them a few challenges and everything, and one of the Chestnut kids we managed to organise a ride on Ash's car in the parade, and what people didn't realise is the Super Stocks weren't even running that night, so it was really special for them because they were heading home the day after. So that was something that I think she'll remember for all her life.
That's that kid.
And we really thank Asher for doing it and taking the time out, and Steve Lennon for letting it happen. I ran over and seen him right at the last minute just to make sure it was going to be all right, and they were just totally obliging. So you got to take your hat off to them.
That was that young girl doing the vlog, kids, that won that on the front.
Yeah.
But another thing, the night for the kids at Temuka there, before we headed to Christchurch, it was raining when we got there and that.
Yeah.
And they found this frickin' mudslide, and old Brody Goodley, Mandy and Maru's son, there's videos of it. He's just diving into this flipping, I said the F word again, mud, and just cruising, and he was all the kids were covered in mud. They just had a ball. It just made me think back in the day, like, for us growing up as kids, we didn't have computers and we didn't have fucking phones and all that shit. And a mudslide was like gold. Let's go, you know. And it just took me back seeing all these kids jumping in this mudslide and having fun, and they were just, you know, it's like Scotty Gallup's kids. He said that as the tour went on, they were more or less interested in their iPads and everything, and more about having fun with everyone else on the tour and doing stuff. You know, it was just, yeah, that part for me was cool.
They were in my bus most of the tour.
Yeah. You know, they're just having fun, eh? You know, like it's just, yeah. But and I see the Mr. and Mrs. Repco commenting, Kins, and it was funny. I'd be driving down between town. Hang on, look, had to be done. Left my door open. And every time I'd see a Repco I'd drive past, I think of old Mike and the team, you know, and how much they jumped on board and helped me to get around the tour as well, with a little bit of help with some gas money, you know. And yeah, Mike Harvey and just awesome. Every time I saw a Repco, I was like, oh, he would be loving this tour if he was on. He'd be right up there with us all drinking and having a laugh. He would have someone that really would have enjoyed it. So if there's another tour, Mike, you need to be on it, mate, because you would love it. So, yeah, just all those things, all the things that bring you back, eh? It was freaking awesome. Really awesome, the whole lot.
So I suppose that leads into the next question for you then, directly, Mr. Peter Rees. You've got over, obviously, slightly getting over it because you drunk a few ales and you got one sitting next to you. When do you start contemplating? Do you ever think about maybe another tour? Because I know you got other stuff on your plate at the moment, aside from building awesome race cars, but do you ever consider maybe another tour one day or 1 year or whenever?
Well, it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah.
It's a definite yes. Well, we want to shoot out to Aussie and catch up with our fellow people over there in the next couple of years. There's Justin Buse and a few other Kiwis are building cars over there similar to what we've got. So we want to take a trip over there with a heap of people. But yeah, I was talking to Horse texted me on the way back from the trip actually on Sunday, and he wished he went, a bit like Kinser there, made a promise, but he wished he went. But I simply said to him, maybe the next one's your retirement tour, because he's got too much left in him, he reckons. So yeah, it's going to happen again. We'll make it, dare I say it, we can make it better by tweaking it. You know, get Speedway New Zealand on board a bit better, because all the tracks down there absolutely loved it. Yeah. It's a no-brainer for them to make it happen, but the dates and stuff are hard to work, so we need someone inside in Speedway New Zealand to work out those dates a bit and make it bigger and better, and, you know, probably make it a bit shorter, because the two and a bit weeks was pretty hard on us all, especially coming back to no work's been done in there for a couple of 3 weeks, and then actually had the next day off, and to be fair, both of us are struggling to get back into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, short answer, it'll happen again.
Awesome, like it. You mentioned Brody there. There's
There
a
he is,
picture
covered in mud.
Yeah, there he is, covered in mud. There you go. There's young Brody, covered in mud, like you were saying. But
He
that's
should have
it.
got body on the tour.
Pardon?
He
should have got body on the tour.
Who's this bloody fellow? Look at that fellow asleep.
Oh,
Who's that fellow in his...
I did fall asleep too. At the... That's that bloody Murray Goodley, the shit. Stop sending pictures, Murray to Kinser. I drifted off for a couple of seconds at Woodford Glen on the Friday night. I was just, and that was it. So, yeah, I was so tired. But, that bloody Murray, wait till I see him. He sets me up all the time, that shit, doesn't he? Eh? Right, since he said that, I'm going to tell the story now. What they got their award. I think everyone needs to hear that story, don't they, Pete and Paul? Hey, about the so what happened is everyone knows who Maru is, Legaspeed Media and his lovely wife Maru. They both Mandy, sorry, they were awesome on the tour, the pair of them. Great people, great family. But we're at Nelson Kins and Mandy comes over and says to Pete and Asher and Nath, you guys need some washing done. I'm going to go down to the laundromat and get our washing done and go down there. So they give over the washing and stuff, and Mandy heads off down to the laundromat down the road, and Maru drops her off, and she finishes all that washing, and she's got it all in different paper bags and plastic bags and stuff, and she's sitting out the front of the laundromat waiting for Maru to pick her up, and she's got her smokes out of her bag to have a smoke while she waits, and her purse was open, and someone walked past and dropped $4 something in her purse thinking she was homeless. and it carried on. And so before she could say anything, they'd left. They just put the money in the purse because they thought there was a homeless woman outside the laundromat. And then we were at Temuka again, and we're looking for Mandy's phone. I said, "We'll ring it and see if we can find it." So they're ringing it. We're all being quiet, and Maru's standing beside the car, and he goes, "It sounds like it's coming from this wheel," and it's there because that's where his fucking pocket was. It was in his pocket, and we're all looking for the phone, and he had it the whole time. Oh, it's coming from this wheel, which is how low his pocket was. So they got a family award, an award for just that. So the pair of them shared it together and come up, and so there you go. I shared that now. Haha, Maru.
You can see the t-shirts that you've got on, Books and Paul's got on. For some of these who are asking in the comments, are they accessible anywhere? Is there anywhere online who's got it, or what's the story?
You want me to answer? You can answer that, Pete. Do you want me to do that?
I'll answer it for you, Box, because it was your invention.
Not my invention.
So I haven't caught up with Brendan yet, but we're going to put them on order online, and we'll do another run of them for those who want them.
Okay.
It'll be a prepay thing, though, Kins.
Okay.
So pre-order.
Yeah, we'll make it simple. We'll get that done in the next week or so. We've just got to get back into work. I just want to say, speaking of awards, Paul came up with, was it 50 little trophies, Paul?
Yeah, just over 50, yep.
Just over 50. It kind of made each prize giving like real funny. Because they were cool awards. There was, well, the one he gave me was best DNF. But 50 plus awards, and they were all laughable. They were all cool little awards. So that helped make the event go cool. And I think in Christchurch, we pretty much took over that prize giving, and it lasted near on 2 hours.
Yeah.
To do our little final bit and that with the cutouts. And I must say, those cutouts that we've done and sold, and I've got 3 big ones left that we haven't decided what we're going to do, that file will get destroyed. So we won't mimic that. We got that drawn up for the tour only, so that's it. If we do another one, we'll do a different type of drawing. I might do a super big one super big one for our club over in Gisborne to put on the wall, but apart from that, those cutouts are quite unique. So those people with them, especially the signed ones, are going to be unique forever.
Yeah.
If you need me to design the exhaust on your cutouts, give me a yell and I'll make it happen.
We don't want the cutouts to be loud.
That was a bit of a sore point, to be fair. Vazey's noise in the pits.
And everything I work towards worked there.
What cracked me up about that, though, is when I went past you in the pits, it was the loudest thing you ever heard. but on the track you didn't hear it.
No, that's right, because I probably wasn't on the gas enough. Or too much. I don't know. I was just having fun, mate. That's all it was all about for me.
It was
having
good.
a bit of fun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can sense it. I can tell just from the 3 years you've had fun. Hey, Books, you met Harley Rod's granddad.
Oh, Papa Rob, mate. They were cool people. They so that's what Pete and Paul were talking about before, Kins. The amount of people that travelled with us. Like when we got to Blenheim and we got back from the Woodburn Tavern, was it? Woodburn? Was that at Paul? Woodburn Tavern? Can't remember.
It was,
Yeah. So that and I got back to the campsite. I couldn't believe how many caravans and campers were there. And then we moved on to Nelson. I stood up the top of the hill and I thought, shit, they're still all with us. They were everywhere. and they turned up at Blenheim, these guys, two of these guys that were with Papa Rob and that, and they had a Maury on a trailer, yellow Maury on a trailer with them. And that's who bought that. You would have seen the cake, the gumboot cake that we started the tour off with. They gave that to Pete in some sock that he had to put in his pocket, but that didn't go down as good as what they thought it would. But they were all good people on the tour too, you know, having fun and drinking and laughing. And they follow us. All these people follow us from place to place. And that, yeah, and the Rob family, yeah, they were cool. Oh, yeah, he loves his booze. Old Papa Rob, mate, Kins, I think he drank more than anyone else on the tour, but I won't admit to that. I told him I gave his back, so, you know, it was...
That's good.
Yeah, but that was what I'm talking about. That both Pete and Paul have both brought it up. The campers and the people that joined us and were actually part of the tour properly. Like they weren't drivers, but they were still mingling and talking with everyone and being a part of it all. And that was cool. That was very, very cool.
Talking to cool, John Van Roonhoven reckons his daughter enjoyed Riverside. Heaps of fun there. Bailey Chapman. Dylan Towler, how are you, mates? Yeah, Lud Granddad, Rob, awesome man. That's Sharon Riddick. Yeah, Mike Harvey said, Books, when you said it before, he will be there on the next one. Rob, maybe, how you going? Matthew Brown. Who else are we missing here? What else we got here? Heaps of donations. People want to come in. Yeah, Rabbit was on the tour as well.
I'll just say,
Smith, I know you
kids,
should carry on. Yeah.
I'll just interrupt. So, on the shirt, the hoodie and the shirt for Alex Hill that he has donated for the tour, the winner of that, Mick Kennedy. I'll send you a message after the show. $150 for the hoodie, $100 for the shirt. You are the top bidder for those two things. So thank you for your support. I'll contact you after the show with some stuff, and then we'll get Alex to organise getting those two items to you. So thanks to everyone that bid on that. And your leading bid for wrong button. Your leading bid for the Prentice stuff is which finishes at the end of the show, which is very, very shortly. And leading that is looks like Bailey Chapman for $150 on the hoodie. Although, did someone comment in the comments there? Oh, it was $200 from Mike Harvey, was it, Kins? Did he put it in?
Yeah, I saw
Mike
that
Harvey,
in there.
if you made a bid, can you go to that other post with the shirts on it and put your bid in there for me, please? On the Josh Prentice shirts or hoodie, whichever one, just so I can keep track of that to see for the end of the show to see who's what. So, Mike, if you're still watching, go comment on the post with the Prentice shirts and just put your bid and what you're bidding on. And then that way I can contact. I think yours might have been the highest bid at $200 for a hoodie or a shirt, one or the other. And then I can go from there. But at the moment, the hoodie is being led by Bailey Chapman at $150. And I think I've got the shirt at $50.
Okay, so Mike Harvey's got a comment in our chat. I don't know if he's referring to the Rees shirt, but if you send me a shirt, I'll donate $200 to the cause.
Oh, Rees shirt. I'll send him yours, Kins. Because he doesn't need it, does he, Pete? Eh?
No, you bloody don't.
Has he got one? We'll take it off him. What size is it? Because I've got some XLs, 4 XLs left, and some 3 XLs, I think, and 5 XLs.
Mike Harvey would be. He's not got much weight. Oh yeah,
XL, eh?
he'd be XL or something. Yeah,
XL.
like the one you gave away of Trisha's.
Oh yeah, still paying for that.
Is that Trish Pratt you're talking about?
Yeah. Don't get Pete in trouble.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell, Pete.
We'll get her another one.
Flynn Ashton, how you, Flynn? Paul Vazey, how did you get those bruises on your legs, Wade Sweeting? Got some bruises on your legs, bloody Paul.
Oh, now that's another story, mate. That wasn't that good. We went to Queenstown on one of the days off. We went across to Queenstown, myself and Sean Smith and Paige and the kids, and we ended up in a bloody bar with the Gisborne lot, with Sam Hughes and all his lot and all the boys, and of course one thing led to another. They coaxed me on to getting onto one of those bloody hydraulic bulls at the pub, and I must admit, I think I've stayed on there the longest, but shit, I've been paying for it ever since. and like, I mean, I'm paying for it, and they're probably all laughing, but there was a few of them that went on there more than once, so I don't know how they're feeling at the moment. I wouldn't mind finding out how they're feeling, but yeah, it was pretty hard work, I can tell you that. Yeah.
Mike's an XL. Mike's an XL, Mike Harvey.
Oh, I didn't know about this mechanical. Well, actually, did you tell me? You might have told me about that mechanical bull, did you? I can't remember.
No, I wasn't telling anyone, mate, to be honest with you.
Well, I do remember someone telling me something about a mechanical bull. I wonder who that was.
Yeah. No, it was a bit of a laugh. It was another good time had on the tour, mate. So yeah, just something else that we did.
So we'll finish off. And I also, like Jace Jones, we all got bruises here in Gisborne, Paul.
Yeah, awesome.
Marty Goodley, we won't go on about Queenstown.
His missus went to. She went to go down the shop to get something, and instead of turning right, she turned left and went and travelled an hour to Queenstown instead of 5 minutes down the road to Cromwell. So she went the wrong way. So we're nearing the end here now. So you both have probably had a bit of time to reflect on the tour. Is there one particular thing that you remember that stood out for you as a favourite part, or all over? Is there something that really stood out to you that really made you go, "Yep, this is us"? I'll start with you, Paul.
Oh, I think the whole lot was a huge life experience. You know, like, I've lived a lot of life, and I've never had anything as humbling as that in my life. And I take my hat off to everyone around us that sort of made it so welcoming. And I think if you're going to take something out of the tour, I think it was the way that we interjected with the kids and the people in the club rooms, you know, that come along to. We had one night there. You haven't spoke about that. Pete and I got dragged up onto stage, and Hutch as well. You know, we answered some questions. So we were answering questions, and the questions were just fired at us randomly, and you know, I think there was a lot taken out of that, and I just hope that they sort of see the concept from the driver's perspective as well as SNZ, you know. So I don't know, in the future, I think that's a good starting stone for maybe doing stuff like that in Speedway, not just on a tour, but I'm talking about getting some good old heads together, putting them in a room, and letting them interject with public, or, you know, the SNZ people, or even the referees as such, you know, and make it better for the sport. Because at the end of the day, if it's better for the sport, you're going to have more of these tours, you're going to have better racing, and things are going to flow a lot better. That's the way I believe it should be. So yeah, no, thanks heaps, Pete, and to your family, mate. Just amazing, and we really thank you.
What about you, Pete? Is there anything on the tour that stood out for you, or?
Exactly what Paul said with the Invercargill fundraiser we did, where we did the question and answer deal, and at the end of that fundraiser, and because there were some good questions asked with that thing, Paul
thanks.
answered a real good one. They would have been scripted to you, wouldn't they?
I had to sit down and write. It took me a long time to write that stuff out, mate.
Paul answered a good one with the mini stock deal, you know, to keep that tidy, and the classic thing, you know, that's a cool class, but it needs to be tidied up a little bit, and they all realise that. And then at the end of that fundraiser, there was an auctioneer guy. He was a laugh a minute.
Yeah.
Man, he must have been a professional comedian.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then, of course, the club, the rugby club deal, we had the best feed of the trip, even though we ate like kings, and I probably put on 5 kgs or so. The school after the rugby club in the rain, that was awesome. Probably one I've forgotten to thank on the whole trip is our Pits Media. They followed every track. It was better when Michaela did it when Jason was up north doing the Peterberry. But you know, hats off to them. It's a big task for them. They gave a little bit back to each club.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Just getting through it without the weather bombing us, because we all know what that's like in the last few years. I don't know, joining the modified invasion, because hey, let's face it, I've never watched modifieds until along comes this Brad Lane fella, and man, he's a character, but he's got a talent on the track.
Yeah.
And the Friday night of the invasion, I actually watched modifieds for the first time. It was awesome, and he called that his bogey track. So having them part of the deal was cool. Some of them fight like cats and dogs, and one of them did a big roll, and then there's emotions in the pits, and they're just like us. They're out the gate. So that was cool. But yeah, I guess just a whole lot was just nothing went wrong, nothing at all. Winning the runoff against Asher.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not known to win runoffs, but I won one against my damn son.
Yeah.
And that was cool. And then you lost one against Trent, so you had a bad runoff. So, you know, and like Vazey said before, Ash is around helping everybody while I'm resting and people coming to me, but he's going to them, and it was out the gate. Yeah, it's hard to describe. Like when there is a next one, and you want to go on it, just go on it. Just make it happen. It's like probably the only holiday I've ever had since 2017 when we did the last tour, and the one before that was 2011 when I went to England. You know, I hated England. I'd rather go down our own country and, you know, drive around and see the scenery and all that stuff. So yeah, out the gate, we pulled it off.
Yeah, mate, it was very cool. Yeah.
You can't really say any more than what these two gentlemen have said, Books. And I know you've spoken to me every time we caught up on their tour. You were just blown away by the South Island scenery, everything that the South Island offers on both sides of the coast, and to be part of a tour is such, like Pete said, he doesn't really get a big bloody holiday. It was 7-8 years ago, so for everyone that went on it, they travelled in their camper vans to be part of it. And I can see all these comments coming on through. They're thanking you two gentlemen, plus you as well, Books, everyone else that did all that hard work behind the scenes, the organisation of this, you know, the cutouts, talking to the tracks, accommodating everything, making sure everything's running pretty well smoothly. So everyone's having that fun and enjoying themselves, because you've got the mini stock class, you've got the classics, you've got the modified class, stock cars, super stocks. It was bloody well done.
Yeah, and let's not forget Brendan as well. I mean, Brendan did a lot before I came in to help, and he organised a hell of a lot and organised the shirts and did everything, and he was trying to get his new business up and running and doing all that stuff too at the same time, and he, you know, and then when we were communicating together to try and get it sorted, he did a hell of a lot. Old Brendan Lemont, and you know, my hat goes off to him as well, how much he did, you know. So it really was a team effort by everybody, and then that team grew as the tour went on with other people helping with things, you know. So it really was cool, and I must say it was an absolute blast working with Michaela and that at the pits for those 3 meetings I did. That was really good fun, you know, and I enjoyed that. So that was something else for me on the tour that I hadn't done, and that interview I did with those guys at Invercargill, I forgot about that. And the thing I reflect on that was everybody bar one person was focused and listening to these guys, Kins. You know, like I was asking them questions, they were talking. The whole crowd, they sold 150 tickets, I think he said, or something like that. That people came to sit down and watch this, and people were engaged with them the whole time. You know, and to me it was like a story that people might not know on here. I said to Asher, you know, I know some drivers out there that when they started, they didn't really want to be a race car driver. They didn't. It's the sort of family thing they were in it. You know, like, for example, like Penn. Shane Penn never wanted to race, even the first time he was scared or something. I said to Ash, you know, did you ever have anything? He said he'd been around Pete with Speedway, and he wanted a mini stock, so he pierced his ear, and he knew that would piss his old man off. And the only way he'd take the earring out is if Pete got him a mini stock. And that's how he got his mini stock. He didn't take the earring out. So I thought that was a hard case story as well, you know, from Asher. That's something that people don't realise about young Asher, you know. He from day dot, he wanted to be in a race car, you know. So, yeah. And you just know an earring in the ear would have done Pete's head in. He would have just hated that, eh? He weren't very happy, and that was it. And that's all Pete, you know, Asher knew how to push the buttons, and get himself a race car. So I thought that was a cool part of that too, Kins, to be honest. You know, it's a neat story, things like that. And that's the sort of stories we talked about and things we talked about in that thing. It was all different things, and then talked about what they thought about the mini stock class and stuff like that. And Paul had some great things. The whole thing was a really good night, and yeah, I reflect on it afterwards about it blew me away that everybody was just engaged. You know, there wasn't people starting to whisper to each other.
Let's not forget the Speedway New Zealand staff.
Yeah.
You know, they were actually next level for us. They did their job, but also they were lenient. They knew we were there for what we were there for.
Yeah.
It was cool, and on the road we all behaved except for one person. But that's a pretty good record, because you know we don't want to. When we're flying that Speedway New Zealand flag, we don't want to attract bad attention. So we pulled that off as well. So, you know, we ticked every box in a good way.
Yep. Absolutely.
Definitely. You know how I mentioned books throughout the mid part of our show. That's something that really stood out to me and impressed me is actually you, to be honest, because you got really out of your comfort zone. You know how the whole deal was. You always wanted to hide behind the bloody scenes, but in this particular case, over the last 2 to 3 weeks, you had to walk out into the middle of a track. You had to do the auctioneering. You had to do at the prize givings, the presentations. You had to sit there and interview these guys. You really took it to the forefront and got yourself out there, bro. Now everyone knows Booker now, and mate, you got out there, eh? And the good old little skinny mate wasn't there to bloody cover your ass.
That's your fault, eh? Your fault. You should have been there, eh?
It's all good.
No, it was all good fun, and everything was for a good cause. I really enjoyed pushing that cystic fibrosis when I found out more Speedway families had kids that had it from it. So, you know, and I mean, let's talk about that as well, because just quickly, I've probably given on a bit, but Asher gave away a set of overalls that, to me, I would have thought was a keepsake for a driver. His first 1NZ overall, and we got to auction them off, and just that giving side of it from everybody for that cause was out the gate outstanding. So, but for me, that's where I'll leave it. We've kept everybody going for ages, and I think it's probably time to let these two gentlemen go and have a family time and rest up. They're probably. Paul only got back at some godly hour this morning, so he's probably knackered as hell.
3 o'clock this morning.
3 o'clock this morning.
We arrived.
So yeah, it was certainly a pleasure and fun, the whole tour. And when you say, but it doesn't sound, when you say, oh, it was the Pete and Paul show, it sounds like some bloody gay TV program, doesn't it? You know, it's.
Don't start that.
Oh, you can't say that. I had to correct Pete when he did that at school. You can't say that word. It's silly. Happy.
Well, on that happy note, we'll say thank you both for joining us and sharing your thoughts on what was and has been an amazing few weeks. The memories shared, the comments has just been out the gate, taking your quote there, Pete, and the chat, and everyone just loves the support, and the big thank yous out to everyone that's been associated. So once again, thanks to you both, and for joining us tonight and taking out your time. I know it's been a lot longer than the norm, but we appreciate it, eh? And everyone else out there that went part of that tour, didn't make the tour like I, just say thank you as well to the both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All good.
Cheers, team.
Yes.
Catch up soon.
See you later. Eh?
See ya.
No doubt you'll have a roadie with Pete somewhere along the line there, Books.
Somewhere along the line, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
It always seems to happen. But yeah, mate, I think that we'll finish on that, and I'll go through and work out who bought what at the end of the show and contact those people with their bids. I see there's been a couple of late bids come in for some of the stuff, so I'll go through that. I'm glad everybody enjoyed the tour, and everybody enjoyed themselves, and all those young kids had fun on the tour, and the school we went to and visited had fun, and everybody just had a great time, mate. And there was no problems, no one hating anyone. It was just good fun, good clean family fun, and that's what I think I liked about it most, mate. Yeah, just fantastic. I see someone put in there to you, Kins, have I given you your hat yet? To that person, me and Kins live in different towns, by the way.
We'll catch up. We'll catch up
at Wanganui, because I'm commentating at the teams in Wanganui now too, helping them out. So apparently I got found out over the tour. So we'll do that. And Sharon, it was a good night. Thank you. We'll see the Riddick family and Gizzy next weekend for that final weekend, eh? I've been trying to convince them to go to that 2-night meeting, Kins. But yeah, I think that's it from us.
Has Zane got his new car yet? No.
His new Rees, yeah, he loved it, mate. He loved it.
Hey, yeah, like you say, on that note, we will end on a high note where everyone enjoyed themselves and had fun. Thanks to Ammz. It's been some time since we caught up with them with the Speedway Excellence Awards, giving you the update. Everything's going to be pretty well hid behind the scenes in regards to points. It's just about a foregone conclusion who's going to win that modified one. Yeah, double the points after a very, very successful.
He's racing again this weekend too, back down South Island. So
yeah, see that. But other than that, hey, thanks to each and one of you. We do apologize if I couldn't get through some of the comments in there that was related to maybe either one of the drivers, whether it was Paul or Pete. We do apologize, but do jump on board, check out the Facebook page, keep in touch. Everything you need to know what we're doing is a show, and thanks to GARAGE16 as well. And
Aaron at GARAGE16, I must ring him. I miss him. I need to catch up with him.
And we'll give you an update too to Megamo as well, how those little t-shirts went down the line now. Stop the bullying type of stuff as well. So yeah, other than that, everyone that appreciated the show tonight, it's good to be back after 2 weeks, and we'll be back next Wednesday. Take care, be safe, enjoy this weekend at Speedway, and yeah, have fun. That's the main thing. Have fun and look after each other. See yous.
Thank you. Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bub and Run, Booker, joined us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot now.